Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background and I'm the author of the books Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate, as well as Theta-Waves Meditation. And I'll put links to my books below. This video is about why spirituality equals absolute truth. I read what some people write online and even encounter others in real life, and they're trying to give a definition of spirituality that people can adhere to and understand. But I think that we need to sort of simplify and make it more concrete so that others can grow in this area. First, I want to explore the concept of truth, and I have on screen an article that I wrote many years ago about this topic. So according to Wikipedia, truth is defined as in accordance with fact or reality, or fidelity to an original or a standard or ideal. This definition implies that there is such a thing as objective truth and that it is possible to identify it and align one's behavior with it. In a 2011 TED Talk titled How to Spot a Liar, American author Pamela Mayer affirms that we are all liars. In fact, it is socially acceptable to lie and tolerate lies from others. Most of these lies are considered white lies that help minimize friction in social interactions. So unfortunately, lying has an impact on the quality version that we have. So the more you have to withhold a part of yourself and basically not be truly genuine, the lower the quality of these relationships. So it's very difficult to be intimate and emotionally spiritual with someone if you cannot show your true nature. I would strongly encourage people to read the book Power Surf by David R. Hawkins because he explores this topic of truth versus falsehood. Unfortunately, throughout the history of humankind, we've never had a way to determine truth from falsehood. And in the spiritual realm, only absolute truth exists. So it's only in the world of the five senses that lies can exist. And the nervous system of someone who has reached at least basic integrity knows truth from falsehood. Actually, whenever you lie, you actually blow up your acupuncture system and you become weak. And probably some people have heard about kinesiology. It is about muscle testing. So if it's a person is not telling the truth and they say this or they hold it in mind, they actually become weak. So lying on a regular basis has a real impact on overall health. And I've seen over the years, because I've explored energy healing, I've done it for actually many years, since 2012, and I've seen that the most powerful healing agent is absolute truth. You can meditate, for years, you can exercise, you can try to have a great diet, do all these things, but if you're not aligned with absolute truth, it won't work. And you'll see that if you say the absolute truth, within seconds, the body starts healing. So in other words, it's not has to do with just feeling good, or it really helps people in terms of improving their health, but also to grow spiritually. According to David R. Hawkins, if we look at the history of humankind, we have been at war at least 90% of the time. And it's not by accident, because according to Hawkins, you cannot create peace. Peace is the consequence of absolute truth prevailing. What does that mean? It means that most human beings lie most of the time, because in order for peace to exist, people have to be truthful, and that rarely happens. Normally, people will not experience peace in the outer world, but also inwards. So if you lie, you will not be able to experience peace. And as people grow spiritually, they're less and less able to lie, because they will have more of a negative reaction to it. And again, when it comes to the spiritual realm, only absolute truth exists. So if we were to give a definition of what spirituality is all about, it has to do with someone who's at least most of the time aligned with absolute truth. So if we were to extrapolate that, God or the Lord is absolute truth. And you'll see that people who don't align with God will have problems over time. And if we go back 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ said he came with the sword of truth, and because of that, people's relationship will be very much strained. So he said that he's going to turn daughters against mothers and sons against fathers, because many relationships are held together by lies. So Jesus Christ was crowned the Prince of Peace, and peace can only be attained if we align our lives with absolute truth. Regardless of a person's position, whether they view themselves as religious, spiritual, or atheist, it's very difficult to argue against absolute truth. We all know deep down that if we don't know the truth, we cannot make informed decisions. So if we extrapolate this concept, is that we can give a practical definition of what spirituality is about, because spirituality is about being aligned with the Lord or God, and God is absolute truth. So whenever you deviate from absolute truth, you're going to have inner war and outer war. So the more you're able to tell the truth, the healthier it's going to be. And people will tell you, like, if let's say someone is naturally inclined to be integrous, if they're not, they are not going to feel good in their bodies. Actually, a lie is heavy. You feel confused. It also has a negative impact on your sense of self-worth. Almost all of us know from birth that truth and empathy are really at the core of how we grow spiritually, or to be a good person, and especially the aspect of truth. But we're told growing up to deviate from that. And really, when it comes to spiritual growth, is to go back to that concept. When it comes to implementing spirituality in day-to-day life, it's pretty simple. We want to align our lives as much as possible with absolute truth. When we do so, we have a greater chance of experiencing inner peace and promoting peace in the outer world. So it's not by accident that the world has been experiencing so much turmoil, because most people lie most of the time. So let me know what you think about the content of this video by commenting below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button. Also remember to click on the notification bell to be notified of other videos I'm going to be making. Subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.